Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to Friday Love Lives. Thank you for joining me today, especially since I was sick last week and I had to cancel. I hate canceling. One of my goals for this year is to be consistent, and I haven't been able to do that when I'm sick. Ooh, this coffee's really hot. Coffee's really, really hot. How is everybody doing today? I kind of feel like we're in the thick of summer. June is always that transition period of going out of spring and into summer. And now that we're officially here, like the 4th of July is literally next weekend. And it's like once that happens, then it's like it slows down. Like summer just slows down. People just stop working. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of summer vibes here. And I feel like ever since I talked about Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey in my last video. You guys can catch that in my channel and on my live, my past history. Ever since that happened, there's kind of been a stillness, a quietness going on in the relationship world when it comes to the pop culture and updated media. Could I talk about, the Kardashians? Can I talk about that? Yes, but I felt like this took a little bit more precedence, especially this week. I feel like everywhere I go, this is a major headline thing. And so I wanted to talk about it. What am I talking about exactly? I'm talking about Beyonce, Queen Bee herself, and how she dropped a latest single called Break My Soul. So, Selena, why are you talking about Beyonce and her single when this is a relationship coaching and a love life kind of channel? Like, why are you doing that? Well, it's very simple, actually. It's because Beyonce has a lot of influence in the world, whether you are a Christian or not. Um, you know who she is, and when she does something, the world pays attention. And so for a lot of people out there, she is very intentional with her messages. She's very intentional with her timing of messages, and so it can speak to a lot of people regardless of what your faith is. And so for today, as a Christian woman of faith, we're going to kind of tackle into what is this message that she is portraying? Look, I got some mascara. It's really bothering me right here. It's my Friday makeup. Um, what is this message that she is really portraying today? And as a Christian woman, what can you get out of it? And how can you use that to inspire your summer season? You know what I mean? So, for those of you guys who are just joining me and you don't really know who I am or where I've come from, let me go ahead and reintroduce myself. My name is Selina Almodovar. I'm a Christian relationship author and coach, and I'm here to help single women, women who are in relationships, grow their faith so that they can use their faith to develop a relationship that's going to lead to that lasting marriage. And that's what we're going to do in today's Friday Love Live. We're going to go ahead and talk about this latest update. And I just want to give you a little bit of disclosure. There's a bunch of stuff happening in the background, so please don't get discouraged or distracted from that. Number one, I think my husband just came home and he's meeting with someone else to talk about like some renovation going on. Number two, directly outside of my window, which is like right in this area over here, they're knocking down trees. Like we live next to a forest and they decided to turn this beautiful forest into a park. So if you hear a lot of crashing, please trust and understand. And my house is not falling apart. There's just a lot of chaos coming from both sides. But isn't that how it goes, anyways? Especially in the summer season, like you're trying to be still, you're trying to just listen to be like, God, speak to me. I know you're going to use me, or I know you're going to try to say something in this message. And then what happens? Chaos comes all around. So we're just going to dismiss it because I really feel that God is speaking to me to tell you about this particular topic. So let's dive right in. Beyonce, she needs no introduction. We all know who she is, right? I remember when her first album came out. I believe I was in the ninth grade when her first album came out. Maybe I was in the 10th grade when her first album came out. And so as I grew into adulthood, she has grown into this stardom, almost to this untouchable, like unspeakable person, this persona, you know what I mean? And so, like I said, when she does something, she does it strategically, she says things strategically. And so when that happens, the world stops and hears. And so, number one, full disclosure, I just want to say, am I a Beyonce fan? I think I used to be a Beyonce fan. Of course, all of her songs are fire, hot fire. It's just as I started to grow in my faith walk, I started to listen to less and less secular music. You know what I mean? So, like, same thing with Drake. Drake just came out with a whole album. I think it's called Honestly Nevermind. And I used to listen to them like very hardcore, especially in my college years. Like, I was very into the secular music. But then as I started to grow my faith and really wanted to get closer to God, I wanted to listen to things that was going to remind me of that lifestyle and that was going to inspire me to look to Him and not to everything else. We'll pin that little phrase right there because I want to get back to that. So going back to Beyonce, have I listened to her music lately? Yes, of course. I've listened to the Lemonade album when it came out. It was a beautiful work of art. I've seen her other visual album that she put out on Disney. What is it called? I'm gonna mess it up. King, isn't it just King? Listen to that, the whole thing, and been here for Formation, been here for the Super Bowl performance. I've seen it all. So for her to come out with this, she is now getting ready to, I believe she's getting ready to drop her seventh album called The Renaissance. And when she was being interviewed in Harper Bazaar magazine, she said that she felt like she said that she felt like a renaissance was upon us, which makes total sense because we just basically experienced as a world unit, we experienced this very I would go ahead and say traumatic thing. The world shut down. That's pretty dramatic. Whether you got sick or not, I mean, we're still feeling the ripple effects of that. Me personally, I felt it last week. I had I got sick with that and I was down for the count for a week. So yes, it has affected all of us, but not just that. It affected us health wise, but it affected us mentally. It affected us emotionally. It affected us relationally. Like, I can't imagine how many women have come up to me to tell me that the dating scene has completely changed in 2022 than it was in 2019 before all of this all began. So yes, we're all experiencing these really crazy changes. And quite honestly, what this new song that Beyonce is singing called um it's called Break My Soul, it's basically saying that we are stressed and that we're overworked and that we're overtired and that we are hungry for motivation, and that is what is going to spark the renaissance, which is now being played into her seventh album named The Renaissance. You know what I mean? So um something that is very interesting to point out is that this song, in addition to the album of Drake's album, Honestly Nevermind, both of them are really like club, bouncy, hip hop. Well, not really hip hop, but it was just house music, if you will. House music club, this, it makes you want to dance. And I think that is the vibe that they're trying to give you, is that we have been overworked for so long. We have been stressed for so long. We just want to be free. We just want to dance. We just want to have fun. We just want to not stress about things anymore. We just want to enjoy life again, because for the past couple of years, life has felt really hard for everyone who is living right now. Life has just felt very, very hard. And so they're giving off this vibe of like, it's time to have fun again. It's time to enjoy life again. And I would not be surprised if, with these two very mainstream artists coming out with the same kind of vibe, I wouldn't be surprised if the next couple of albums that you hear from the popular artists that are out there, you're going to hear the same kind of thing, right? Until it gets played out and then something else happens. But for now, you're going to hear a bunch of house music, dancing music, club music, and all that things. So how can you receive this? What is this song actually saying? I'm going to go ahead and just share a couple of lyrics. Let me see here. I got it pulled up. So the very first verse that Beyonce uses in here, she's just saying, I just fell in love. I just quit my job. I'm going to find a new drive. They're working me so hard, work by 9, then off past 5, and they work my nerves. That's why I cannot sleep at night. So she is explaining, she is already getting into the pain and the struggles of what a lot of people are feeling. Okay. So this is what's going to differentiate the Christian woman from the worldly woman. Okay. So everyone is feeling the same. We are all stressed. We are all tired. For me as a content creator and as a coach, I did a whole day of coaching on Wednesday. I was doing a lot of in-person sessions at my other location. And yesterday I was just tired. I was exhausted. And I was like, oh man, I got to go on Instagram. I got to show up. I got to present myself. I got to create something new. I got to do stuff. And I feel like a lot of people out there, we feel the same way. Like I got to do this. I got to keep going. I got to keep moving. It's a fast-paced world. You got to be consistent. Consistency is key, and whether that's you being a content creator or that's just you showing up for your job or whether that's just you showing up for your relationship. Okay. Like let's bring it back to that kind of world setting. Just you and your love, like you're tired because so much of you is getting poured out. And if you're not careful, you're going to start to deplete. You're going to start to feel depleted and you're going to start to feel very drained. Okay. And that's very much what Beyonce is singing in this verse. I am tired. They're working me. They're overworking me. I can't sleep at night. I mean, how many of you guys are like popping melatonin now and taking the sleepy time tea extra because it's just really hard to shut the brain down. It's really hard to just relax at night because of everything that's going on. I feel like every time you just open up your phone, there's something going on that instills this fear and instills this stress and instills this worry, and it just hasn't stopped for a straight 2 years. I mean, yes, it's always been there, but man, for the past 2 years, and like tell me in the comments if you guys are feeling this. Like let me know if it is it just me and Beyonce or is it everybody, because I feel like it has gone to a new extreme, and because people are so tired, um the pressure to do more, to try to find that rest and to try to find that peace and to try to find that motivation and to try to find that inspiration is just straining a lot of people, right? And so that is what she's talking about. And I just want to say thank you guys for joining me in this conversation. And thank you guys for sharing your thoughts when you do, because I feel like a lot of people are there. And so when Beyonce initially brings this to the very first part of her song, it instantly pulls you in because she's speaking to you. She's not just speaking to the secular woman, she's speaking to everyone. Everybody's like, yeah, Beyonce, you got it. You get it, girl. And so she's making us feel like she's relatable. She's making us feel like she's right there with us, despite the pay rates here and the popularity rates. She is still very much in tuned and aware of what's going on. And so let me go back to, so that was the very first verse, the pre-chorus, which is the hook, which is also sung, I believe, I believe this is Big Frida. She had a feature in there. So she's another musician from New Orleans. So anyways, I'm looking for motivation. I'm looking for a new foundation. I'm on that new vibration. I'm building my own foundation. Okay. Those are the main things that she says: motivation, new foundation, new vibration. I'm building my own foundation. Okay. So naturally, for people who are singing this, for people who are looking for this, we all feel the same way. Everyone is kind of searching for something. Okay. If you're a Christian woman out there, you are searching for something. There is a void inside of you. And whether that void is peace, whether that void is love, whether that void is companionship, whether that void is just a challenge that is growing you in a really positive way. Okay. We feel a need to fill ourself. We crave it. I believe that God has made us to crave. What exactly are we craving? Maybe it's Him. I'm just throwing that out there. There's a spoiler alert here. Maybe that motivation that we're looking for is going to be in God. Maybe that new foundation is actually God. Maybe that vibration that you're trying to, tap out there into the world, maybe it could be God. I'm just saying, maybe the foundation that you need to build is on the solid rock of God. And that's just me as a Christian woman. This is kind of where I stopped listening to the secular music, because a lot of these songs are beautiful in the fact that we can all relate to the pain. But when it comes to soothing the pain, that's where we differ. And there's nothing wrong with that. I believe that's my baby. As I mentioned, there's a ton of distraction going on, and maybe she'll come in here, maybe she won't. I don't know. Like I said, trees falling, babies crying, husband somewhere. It's all it's Friday, right? It's Friday. And that's what we're talking about here, is that there's chaos in our seasons, and we're looking for ways to fill the voids that are pulling us away in that chaos. And so this is one of the reasons why I kind of stopped listening to secular music, because what my solution is, what I have found my solution to be, is now different than what other people are doing. So, for example, the pre-chorus, the I'm looking for motivation, looking for a new foundation. This is actually a sample from another song that came out years ago, and like I said, it was from Big Frida or Big Fridia. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but it was from a song called Explode. And she said that her lyrics weren't necessarily about the great resignation, which is what a lot of people are calling it these days, when you're quitting your jobs and you want to work from home, or you want to make your own decisions in the work area. She said it's not necessarily about that. It was more so, I'm looking for a way out, and I'm going to go to the dance floor to free myself, to express myself. So it was more of a club song, right? Like, stop being stressed, go to the club, feel a little better about your situation. For me, on the other hand, I went to the club. I used to dance my heart out. I used to sing my heart out. I used to drink my heart out, and it still left me kind of void. And let me know how you feel about it in the comments as well. But that was just my point of view. And so I sought a higher source, if you will, that being God and my faith. So anyways, going into the course, you won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. I'm telling everybody, you won't break my soul, right? So then she's giving you directions now. Release your anger, release your mind, release your job, release the time, release your trade, release the stress, release the love, forget the rest. Okay? This is common. This is feeding your own flesh never satisfies. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Feeding your own soul is never going to do it. So now, this was the part of the explode. I'm sorry, I misquoted. So the pre-chorus was Beyonce. This was the original song from Explode. And these lyrics were in relation to going to the dance floor and just kind of freeing yourself. So releasing your anger, releasing your mind, these are all great things. Of course, release it, release that stuff. You should not be holding that in, but God tells you to do that too. Okay. Release your job, release your time. Hey, she's not telling everybody to quit and walk out, but she is telling you, if you're not satisfied and happy, you should move into a place that gives you more peace. Guess what? God tells you to do that too. Release your trade, release the stress. Yes. Nobody should be living in a stressful, confusing thing. None of those things are God, right? Release the love, forget the rest. God calls us to love ourselves or love others as we love ourselves. It's the biggest commandment outside of love him first, right? So why am I saying this? Like, of course, Beyonce, this is not a Christian song. Like, why are you trying to compare this? Like, why are you taking this out of context? I'm not. I promise you I'm not. Like, I don't, for the life of me, I don't want the beehive to come after me about this. But what I'm trying to say is that there are women out there who claim to have faith in God, who believe in God, who are resting in God. But then as soon as a hot song comes out by a hot individual, all of a sudden they forget what God has called them to do, and what God has been telling them to do all along. And instead they're listening to this person. And this person is kind of not telling you to go in the direction of God. She's kind of telling you to find it yourself. And as we mentioned before, feeding your own flesh never satisfies. And so that's why I'm telling you, like, yes, bob your head to the music, and yes, respect the queen bee all day. But at the same time, do not forget that we don't have all the answers. And if you're going to try to search for those answers on your own, you're going to get into some heavy things, right? So then verse 2, let's keep going, right? And please continue to share your comments about this. So now she did it. Okay? So now she was stressed in the beginning. She found her motivation. She's building her new foundation. So now in verse 2, it shows you the results of that. So she says, I let my hair down because I lost my mind. B is back. I'm sleeping good, real good at night. Queen's in the front, Dom's in the back. Ain't taking no flicks. The whole click snapped. So, she's with her friends. She's taking her, she's finding her peace. She's resting in that peace. That's basically what she's saying. She goes back to the course. She done found her new foundation. I'm taking my new salvation. I'm gonna build my own foundation. Oh yeah. Okay. And so what is this saying exactly? I wrote down that quote on my notes. I'm taking my new salvation and I'm gonna build my own foundation. Okay. Again, she from what I understand this to be, I could be completely wrong. Someone please correct me if I am, because I don't have all the answers. But what I'm hearing from this, a lot of people, they would hear that word foundation as people of faith, and they'd be like, "Oh no, red flag. This is not good," etc. But like, let's really dissect this. Like, let's really try to break this down. I'm taking my new salvation. It's because the life that she was living in the past was draining her. It was stressing her. It was straining her in every way possible. She was not happy with herself. She was not happy with her life. And what really is life if you're living something like that? You know what I mean? And so, in taking back ownership of her choices, of her peace, of her space, of her energy, that is her saying, that's my salvation because that's what saved me from living this other life. Is that necessarily Christ-like? Is that biblical? Um, Depends on who you ask. You know what I mean? If I am looking to God and God is telling me that my plate is full because I am overworked in church ministries and I am trying to give to too many people without pouring into myself, without taking time to rest in the Sabbath, because that is definitely a commandment that a lot of people don't listen to. It's in the same 10 commandments as thou shalt not kill and steal. Okay. But yet people don't take the Sabbath. You know what I mean? Like, they don't take it seriously. They don't think it's necessary. So, yeah, if I am feeling strained and upset and stressed out, and I go to God and I reset my foundation, God is going to tell me to make better choices. He's going to tell me to clean my plate. He's going to tell me to sit down and rest. He's going to tell me that you are entering into a season of rest and stillness, and then when you do that, yeah, this all applies. I'm building my foundation. I'm taking my salvation, all of these things. Again, the biggest difference here is there is one person who is encouraging and empowering people to do it on their own. And then there's other people who are looking to God to tell them how to do it that way. Okay. That is the main difference here. So as we can think about like Beyonce, let's talk about her. She went from her first album Crazy in Love. She was doing all types of interviews. Her relationship with Jay-Z was very open. Like, you saw them together all the time, and then slowly but surely she started to withdraw from the media. She started to only expose herself when she chose to expose herself. Like, nobody knows what's going on in Beyonce's life unless Beyonce wants you to know what's going on in her life. Is that necessarily a bad way of living? Absolutely not. Protect your peace by all means. So, as a Christian woman listening to this song, can you listen and get something out of it? Yes. Yes, of course. She is encouraging you to look and focus on the things that aren't helping you become a better woman, become a peaceful woman, become a woman with purpose. And she's telling you it's time and it's encouraged, and you have permission to change what needs to be changed so that that can happen. Okay. Um, that's what I believe the message is, on top of the fact that it is a dance tune that everybody wants to dance to. So that's what this song is about. Break My Soul. You can listen to the whole thing online. You can go anywhere online. YouTube is where I found it. I will probably link this song to the description on my YouTube video if you are watching me from YouTube there, and go from there. So for women out there, women of faith who need this kind of inspiration, who needs a little bit of a motivation in a musical form this summer because they're feeling the same way, but they don't want to go to artists like Beyonce to get that kind of motivation and empowerment words, lyrics. Where do you go? Because for me, like I said, the only reason why I was privy to this information was because it was everywhere. But am I a Queen Bee fan? Am I like hanging on to her every word, trying to see like when the next album is going to drop? Like, no, I'm not. I'm not really putting myself out there as a Beyonce diehard fan. Okay, but where would I go to listen to music that is kind of similar to the beats of these mainstream songs that have a different message where they're talking about everyday life, but they're pointing me in the direction of God so that I can feel like my foundation is secure and firm no matter what is going on around me? Here's what I suggest, okay? I am a huge fan of the singer-songwriter, rapper, Christian rapper, Wande. Does anyone know who Wande is? If you know who she is, drop something in the comments to let me know that you know who she is. Um, Wande is really good at this because, and she just came out, I think her latest song was a month ago, like May, like the end of May. Wande is very good at this because she sounds like she is a mainstream rapper. Her beats are fire, her lyrics are fire. You wouldn't think for a second that she was not mainstream. So if you're looking for somebody with a little modern beat to it, like, yes, Maverick City music is great. Excuse me. Yes, they just came out with an album with Kirk Franklin called, I think it was Kingdom. Um, those are awesome. Yes, Elevation Worship, awesome. You know what I mean? But sometimes I think what happens is that we tend to want something that goes a little more hard. We want something that has a little more beat to it. And then that's when you go back to the secular music. And that's when you're like, well, I'm going to listen to this and I'm just not going to receive the self righteous part of the songs. But like, wouldn't it be easier? Wouldn't it be better for your soul if you just listened to something that was going to encourage you from the very beginning without having to filter out, what you think is good and what you think is not good? You know what I mean? Like, yes, Beyonce is fire, hot fire. Is her album going to be amazing? I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be, as with any other visual representation that she creates out of that album. However, wouldn't it be much easier for my soul, for my peace, for my mind, for my spirit, for my heart moving forward if I were to just find someone, like Corin Hawthorne, who is a really good singer, who has a very modern vibe to her music that would lead me to God, that will lead me to pray to God, that will lead me to reminding myself, this is my foundation, this is my salvation, and this is what I'm going to use to carry on the rest of the world. Those women have the same kind of messages, only they are very much in tune with the faith, and they're very much pointing you in that direction of faith as well. It's kind of like these Friday Love Lives, if you think about it. Yes, I'm talking about modern, pop culture things, but I think I talk about them because every topic has a lesson from God in it. Every topic has a lesson of God in it. All of these relationships that I've mentioned in the past, you can always learn from them from a Christian perspective and apply them into your everyday life. So, sis, here's the application for you. If you're stressed, if you're tired, if you're overworked, if you're working at a position that no longer serves you, then I am going to say, and you're in need of a motivation, you're looking for a new foundation, you're looking for all those things that Beyonce has mentioned. My recommendation is you press pause on that song, go listen to a different song that's more Christian and faith based. Okay. And really listen, not just to the song, not just to the lyrics, but really listen to what God is calling you to do. Okay. God brought this on. God is very sovereign. He knows what's going on in the world. He knows what happened in 2020, right? He knows what's going on in the world, in the wars on the other side of the world. He knows what's happening in your heart right now. He knows what you're battling. He knows what you're struggling with. He knows what you're lacking. He knows your voids. Okay? So God's aware. He's very much aware. But just like Beyonce is intentional with her messages, and just like she is intentional with the timing of this, like if you would, like, here's a perfect example. Beyonce released this single on the summer solstice day. Okay, I think it was June 21st, which happens to be the longest day of the year. She released a song about breaking free from straining and stressing and overworking on the longest day of the year. Doesn't that make sense, right? So if Beyonce could do it, don't you think God is doing it so much more? Don't you think that he is dropping messages to you, timely messages for you? Don't you think he is bringing people to you in perfect timings so that you can restore yourself, so that you can reconfirm your foundation in him? Don't you think that if you were to stop and look and listen long enough to hear God's voice and to see God move in your life, you would realize that all of the chaos and all of the, distractions all around you are stopping you from moving towards what he really wants you to do? Like maybe there's a renaissance within your own life that you're not aware of because we're so distracted by the messages of the world. Maybe God is really trying to get to you, and the only way he can get to you is through a Beyonce song. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. The Bible says that God can use a donkey to talk to people and to give them a message that will bring them to God. So, what makes you think that he cannot use this kind of song? What makes you think that you didn't look at Drake's new video? What is it called? Falling Back. What makes you think that he didn't show you that video and you got triggered by it because Drake is being shown marrying like 20 girls at the same time with Tristan Thompson as his best man? Like, what makes you think that it didn't trigger you to feel some kind of way? You know what I mean? And then you hear this live, and I'm telling you, like, yeah, worldly music's out there and it goes hard, but at the same time, it's not giving you the message to seek him. It's giving you the message to seek yourself. Like, is it all coincidence? Is it odd, or is it God? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. God is everywhere. He could be in your music. He could be in the messages that you see on your phone. He could be in your post on Instagram. He could be anywhere in the world and in your heart and in your psyche. And we just have to look for him. But it's easier to hear him and see him when you're focusing your sights and your ears on people who are already pursuing him in the first place. That is the message today. That is the encouragement today. And that is what I'm leaving you with today. That is your call to action today, is rather than to listen to the new stuff that's making you dance and making you move and making you go numb in your current life, or making you make drastic choices in your current life, why don't you seek out God in other forms of media and other forms of, in other Christian YouTubers or in other Christian influencers? And why don't you use that as your motivation to really hear what God wants you to do, or what really God is trying to do in this new groundbreaking season for you, and have him tell you how to build your foundation so that you can feel restored, so that you can feel renewed, so that you can feel the peace and you can feel like you can relax and sleep at night. Okay, so that is what I'm going to leave you guys with today. As always, be sure that if you liked this Friday Love Life episode, be sure to subscribe to me. I do it every Friday unless I have COVID, which not cool at all. But usually outside of that, I am here every single Friday. Also, if you think that this conversation is something your friends would like, be sure to share this Love Live video and let your friends know, and have a discussion with them over the weekend about what we talked about today. You know what I mean? As always, you guys can find me, SelinaAlmodovar.com. If you guys have any questions regarding this topic regarding Beyonce, regarding the song, regarding summer vibes, maybe some other summer artists that you want to get in touch with. I'm also going to leave on YouTube a link to the hottest Christian summer playlist for 2022. That way you get a variety of the most current Christian songs that have come out during the summer season. Okay, including the songs from Wande. So make sure you catch that as well if you're looking for some inspiration to help you not look to the secular music, but instead look to some faith based music. So before I go, are there any questions that anyone would like to share, whether it's from YouTube or whether it's from Instagram? Is there any questions going on that you guys want to share? Let me go ahead and get rid of some of these banners here. There we go. Thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me. And I'm honestly surprised that we didn't hear any trees fall down. Maybe they're taking a break. I'll link the Beyoncé song to my YouTube channel for those of you guys who are watching from there. Anyone else? Anyone else? No comments? It's all good. So what are we going to do next today? Next, we are going to, I'm working on my Sunday devotional. Every single Sunday, I send out a devotional through your email inbox, giving you a word of encouragement, giving you some links to, the past videos that I did, and a couple of tips that you can take away, whether you're single, dating, engaged, or married. So if you're not on the Sunday devotional list, let me know. Say something in the comments and I'll add you to it today. The other thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to work on my next video. What is the title of my next video? Let me see real quick for you guys who are watching. Hold on. My next video, which comes out on Monday, is going to be one thing that could help you when you're tired of waiting. So this is specifically for Christian singles. What's one thing that will help you when you are tired of waiting? Because Lord, let me tell you, we've all been there before. Amen. Am I right? So that's going to be there. That's what I'm going to be working on today. Whatever it is that you guys choose to work on today, I hope that it is blessed. I hope that it blesses you. I hope that you get your rest. I hope that you have fun this weekend. Be safe out there. Always remember to look to the light being God. Give him the glory. Get some rest in there too. I just keep feeling like you need to rest. You need to rest. I need to rest. We all need to rest. So why don't we go ahead and take care of ourselves this weekend and come out stronger for a new day next week. All right. So God bless you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.